Hello to everybody and welcome back. There, some of you are back, and some of you I can see been waiting for me to start. So thank you very much, and welcome to afternoon tea with me, Sandra from Tiverton, Bead and Wool Shop. So I have my cup of tea ready, and do you have yours? Don't know. Oh, I can see somebody else joined us. Please, 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 if you have any comments, you somewhere you should have a window or option to actually type questions. Because yesterday I finished, like I was going on nearly for an hour and showing you the heel, and then I realized that none of you have actually asked me any questions. And now my question is, am I so good showing you that you understood everything from the first time, or I haven't stopped for a minute to give you actually chance to ask the questions. So please do not hesitate. If anything is unclear, or maybe I said something and you don't know what to do, please do not hesitate to ask again. And I will come back and I will show you the socks in a minute. But yeah, coming back to where we are and what we're doing. So it's a week 4, and I think this one is today. I think today is Wednesday, but like somebody put in a Facebook question, which day it is, which date it is. It's something like 65th of May, feels like, doesn't it? I think we all live in like, well, it's another day, so we are all right. So the sun is shining, so what date it is, oh, who cares really? So it does seem like the life at the moment is going on those lines, and everything seems so same and nothing happens. And I think that is one of the things which I will rethink about my live podcast. Because when we closed the shop 4 weeks ago, what was 24th of it's nearly a month now, and it all seemed like it will be over in a minute, and we have a lot of things we want to share. We have lots of things we would like to do. And it seemed like the first week of the closure, we had a lot of information kind of dumped on us. Well, not dumped really. So I don't, well, I hope you don't feel like I was dumping the information on you. But there was all the suppliers were starting all sorts of crochet alongs and knit alongs. If you look back, more, I mentioned to you some, which I thought were quite interesting to join. And now, do you know, for a week or so, it's quiet. It's nothing. I guess because everybody is kind of actually finally kicking in and thinking like, well, what do we actually do? And it's same like with me here. Lovely weather. The shop is closed. I have some mail orders to dispatch in the morning. And then what? Where do I get these exciting things from? Where do I have these nice and interesting things to show you? There isn't one. So I know online things are going on and designers are still designing, but everything comes kind of really hard. And then you think like, well, what is the point to show you if you can't get materials? What is the show? It's all kind of, it's getting a bit kind of weird, and or it's me just getting weird. And so I find, and the same with these live podcasts, I find like yesterday was Tuesday, and I want to talk about this, I want to show you this, I want to show you this, because I had all bank holiday weekend, Easter weekend, to like Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday to get things ready or to progress in some of the projects I'm doing. From yesterday, I know it's 24 hours, but I did sleep in between. And so it's kind of like, I feel like really, when I finished the live podcast, I nearly feel like under obligation. I need to knit something quick because otherwise I have nothing to show you tomorrow. And it kind of gets, it's a lot of pressure, I feel. And sometimes like the craft shouldn't be really a pressure, wouldn't it? When you do your knitting, you'd rather enjoy it and do. And if you don't feel one day like knitting, why would you push yourself to do it? Because we don't need to achieve anything particular. We don't need to do like, well, at this point, I do need to do something, otherwise, I have nothing to show you. But that's my little dilemma. And tomorrow, I will show you the last bit of the sock. Until tomorrow, I possibly will tell you tomorrow then how we will move forward, because I don't want to stop it all, but I think doing it like Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, 4 days on the row, it does put too much pressure on me to do things, or just pick on the things maybe which I think like, oh yeah, well, I don't have anything else to show you, I will show you this. And I don't want to do that. I would like to show you things which really excite me and then work on them. But to work on them, I need some time. So I think we might go something like once or twice a week on a live podcast. And then I might have time to go and film like the regular podcasts, which are, about favorite yarns and things like that, which I can do in the shop. So it's, so it's at the moment, this week will continue, and then we will see. Because the other thing is, please comment on the video or send us email. You can send inquiry through the website, what maybe you would like to see in these live podcasts. What would interest you, because otherwise I'm just showing what I'm doing, and you have no say. So you basically are another end of the screen, and well, that's it. That's what you're having. So do kind of talk to me. I might be speaking a lot, and also, no, I'm not doing that. But I would really like to have your opinion. What would you like to see? And then we can move forward, because it seems like we are in for it for another at least 3 weeks, maybe even longer. So it's kind of, we need to work together to get to the end. And yeah, today I was tidying up. This morning I spent, and now watch this, every year when I put away my winter boots, I find like a week later, I regret my hasty decision. So the weather's been, reasonably nice and warm here. Today and yesterday it's been a bit cold wind, but it's still not cold enough because the sun is so strong, and it's not cold enough anymore to wear winter boots. So I'm trying to tidy them away. And I always find that this one is kind of sometimes, so let's start from beginning. Where I come from, Latvia, we have a lot of snow in the winter, and if you bought winter boots, you did need to look after them for them to survive season, because of the damp and the salt on the roads and everything in the city. You basically came back in the evening. If you left in the morning or you went shopping, you came back and you did need to dry your boots. You needed to put the polish on, because otherwise it would just crack. And so the boots would not survive winter. And I think we all got lazy, and it same applies, I think, to shoes, like disposable fashion, where suddenly we are so used to buying things which don't wash well, we don't look after them. I can't be bothered if I can't chuck it in a washing machine idea. So yes, we don't buy a better quality stuff. And I have, over the years, since I moved here, I decided that my feet are too dear to me, and my comfort is too dear to me to buy cheap shoes. And by that I mean I would not buy shoes with synthetic linings or synthetic shoes, because otherwise I would expose people who live with me to some anxiety, some things which they just basically smell my feet in synthetic shoes. So I have resorted to buy only leather shoes, and I know there will be vegans and all the rest of it. I'm sorry, I'm having my leather shoes. All right. So, but with that, every spring for winter boots, all I do, I wash them with damp cloths, or clean them up, clean all the dust off, and I put a normal good layer of shoe polish on. And then I stuffed them with newspapers so to keep the shape, so I don't need any fancy shoe, how you call it, trees, things you put in the shoes or boots to keep them straight. I just packed them nicely with crunched up newspaper and I put them in a cupboard. So next autumn, when you think like, oh, I don't have anything to wear, I don't fancy those old ones. And then when you take them out, because you polished them before you put them away, they actually look all right. So, and it preserves the leather, it preserves the shoes, and yeah. So basically, that's what I did today. So I put my 3 pairs of my short ones and tall boots I put away. So now watch out for the weather. Storms and snow next week, isn't it? So that would be normal classics. I have put my winter coat away and I washed another one. So there we go. Winter is over. And with that, I kind of was on a slight tidying mood like you are. Guess what I did on Easter Monday? I cleaned the tops of the kitchen cupboards. Have you ever seen that part in your life, like tops of kitchen cupboards? Oh, don't even start. Don't even start. If you don't have a good supply with cleaning liquids, don't even start. And I think to compare, when you look up there and you think like, oh my God, how do other people cope? When you see these pristine kitchens and you think like, well, or they don't cook, never use the kitchen, or they are constantly cleaning. How often do you clean your tops of kitchen cupboards? I'm not, no more comments on that. Okay. And then I was kind of in tidying mode and I found a bag with, guess what? Unfinished project. And I cannot remember if I have ever showed this thing to you before. But basically what it is, and if you are interested, have a look online, do your little research. I don't need to feed you everything. And the trouble is I can't show you the pictures on the live stream. I can't put a photo or then I need to print everything out. But basically, if you look online or on any search engine, if you type in Latvian national costumes, we have a lot of them. Every single village is different. And there is one particular area where my mother comes from, which they call the rich area, which is the seaside against the Baltic Sea. And there the costumes are absolutely stunning. They have big crowns with large beads, and and the colors are very, very vibrant. The skirt for girls or for ladies is really fiery orange with all sorts of colors going into it. It's really, really nice. But with the big skirts, there comes tight jackets. And the jackets are normally pale gray. You can have black. It depends, like I say, it depends on the village. You can even have white waistcoats. It's jacket or waistcoat. It depends on the season. And last time when I was back home, I do remember in the big craft market, I saw somebody selling, and I cannot for love or money remember, was it knitted all, but the edges were definitely crocheted. And somebody has done the jacket, which normally is done in the fabric. They have done it in knitting and crochet combo. And normally it has wide bands with very, very ornate cross-stitched bands. So how to do it in knitting? And I was kind of working, I remember like a year or so ago, I was kind of getting a bit carried away and I thought like, no, I want to do it and I want to kind of get somewhere. And I didn't want to crochet all the jacket because I'm just not that clean crocheter. The big things, big holes, yes, but the fine fabric in like single crochet, it's not really my forte. And then I found, and oh, don't even ask me to remember, that was some time ago. There was, I thought like I need shaping, I need to know how to do, because the jacket has to be tight. So it has to have a nice cut-in sleeve. So it has to be very well fitted. So and I found somewhere, don't ask me to name, but I think, I'm sure it's Rowan. And there was always the question, I wanted to do it in the 4-ply, but then again, the 4-ply was more, too fine. And oh God, yes, I was kind of on and off this project. So there is some things which, like you see, there's even some notes I made on the side which I can't understand anymore. But basically, the idea is it was a jumper, but it was very well fitted. And then I thought, like, well, all I need to do is divide the front and leave and take stitches off for the panels, which need to be in a bright color. So what I have ended up is, and this one is because it's not pressed and it's work in progress, it's still kind of, it is work in progress. So the orange, I can see on computer, it looks very carroty. In the real life is more burned orange. Would that make, no, it doesn't make the color look better, does it? No, it doesn't. It's kind of, it's orange again, you see. And yeah, so what I've been doing, I have the body of the cardigan, the front and the back, all knitted in one. Oops, something for the floor. And there is, you can just about see, that's where I use the pattern. Can you see the shaping on the side? You can just about see there is nice shaping. Can you see it goes like that? So it's kind of very fitted. And now you can see, can you see my problem with why I hate stockinette stitch? Can you see how there's ridges forming? And here on the top where I was trying to impose some other technique, slower, to do the purl rows, it kind of looks better. And then here on the bottom, you see what I have already done. There is the bottom border crocheted, and I started to cross stitch the ornaments on. But it's not fine enough for my liking. And I have been using, and the other thing is, which I didn't thought about it, that was kind of a bit of misplanning or under engineering. When you do the cross stitch, of course, it bulges the thing up. So, and I've been using DK yarn, and these ones I crocheted very, very tight. So I have nearly like a cross stitch fabric. So I can count the stitches to do the cross stitching. So that doesn't look fine enough to me. So it looks a bit bulky. But then again, the funniest thing is, from my memory, I kind of abandoned it because I didn't like the cross stitch and I didn't like, that part of the cardigan, the stand-up collar. I didn't like it. So, but when I took it out of the bag now, I found it's like, oh, it's actually not that bad. Not that bad. So, and I tried it on and it actually does fit nicely. The one thing which I can see I have done, this one and that one, I can't remember. I was drawing the kind of patterns I want to cross stitch, because I need to know, to create the patterns, I need to know how many stitches I can put across this way and how many stitches I can do that way, lengthwise, because of course I want everything, my stitching like that on this one needs to be symmetrical. So I possibly need to start from the center and then go outwards. So yeah, so that's, it's not too bad from inside, but you can see how it has bulged out the edge. And now the question is, this one I quite like, this kind of crocheted plait, it kind of finishes it nicely. It might be that when I finish and I know the sizing and the sizing is right, oh, this one is still attached to the ball, of course. Why I'm pulling it. This is how you not keep your projects attached to the balls. Yeah, because I need to continue the front crochet because it's not wide enough yet for my ornaments, which I can't even remember. I know I drew them somewhere, but I can't remember where. So yeah, so that is kind of interesting. I quite like that black and white, and that's traditionally there was some kind of, what you would call haberdashery stitched on. and sometimes they have a dashery, kind of the black ornaments came even on there, but I think I will abandon that. The other thing I think I wanted to try, because the sleeves will be, again, the sleeves will have a cuff like that, and then it will be just a sleeve. And what I will try to do, maybe, if I'm happy, because I stopped because I wasn't happy how it looks. So the possibility is that the cross stitching is wrong. It's not the borders. So yeah, so I will see if I maybe can pick. And you see, the trouble is, and it's every time like that, I thought like, nah, it will be fine. I will stitch in the ends. So I stitched in the ends, and now what happens? I decide that I don't like it anymore. So now, why did I stitch in ends? Shouldn't have done it. Should have left it till the last. So yeah, I'm not sure. And this one is a bit curling. I hope that the curl will disappear. See, the same like that, which is bothering me. I hope I can press it out and steam it out so it will stay flat. And then might be that I will do borders with very fine black. So that's kind of to frame it. But this one is definitely dark winter evening project. The sleeves, I think if I follow, because what I was doing with the pattern, all I was following was increases, decreases. And I hope that there's somewhere, there was a bit. Oh, what was this thing which fell down? Where did it fall out? Oh, there. There was a bit somewhere. Oh yeah, there. I think I can achieve this one. I done on machine. So I might, and I know you can see the difference. There is a difference in hand knitting and machine knitting. You can see the difference. But one is a sleeve and one is a jumper. So I hope that I can cheat and do the sleeves on the machine. And that would be really, because it's really pretty boring to knit stockinette stitch. So, just along. Oh, and by the way, the yarns I'm using on this one is, the yarn is absolutely lovely to knit with, and it's beautiful. And it is a Rowan alpaca soft double knitting. And it knits so lovely. Like this part, I can't explain. It's really, really soft. This one feels much harsher and harder. And this one is something in the shop we have in the 50-gram balls, which is 50 wool for 50 acrylic. And yeah, but it might be that I just decide that I take this stuff off the borders and redo them all, just cut them off. Without cutting, obviously, cutting the knitting. Because there is something which just does not, doesn't happen. If anybody is specialist in Latvian national costumes and colours, can you please contact me and give me advice on this one? But this one is kind of, yeah. Oh, it's not actually. When I did try it on, it doesn't look that bad. It looks quite. I think possibly because the big orange is so. It will be fine once it's cross-stitched and the borders are put on, so it will look more interesting. But, well, we will see. One day I will come back to this one. This one I uncovered when I was tidying up. Now then, other things. So we're having up there for the sleeves. Yeah, socks. How are you getting on? Is anybody knitting the socks, or you kind of keeping quiet? I'm not telling anybody. Right. So yesterday I was showing you this part and that part. And then I gave you instructions on the gusset. That's how your gusset should look. Right. This one is like, like little hood, really, what you created yesterday. So when you stop knitting the sides and only knitted the center stitches. And then if you do struggle, and this one is one of the tricks, I think, I know that I was trying to film the video, and that I'm talking about at least a year or two ago, how to pick up stitches on the finishing touches. And I know that I had a trouble that one of the videos I just could not get off my phone. It's one of those technical things, when you have done something sensible and you think the video is actually should be quite good, and suddenly technically it just doesn't happen. And I think I abandoned, or there's two options, or I hope it wasn't this video, so go and have a look on our channel some time ago. It should be under finishing touches, how to pick up stitches. And basically the principle is actually quite same as for stitching up in mattress stitch. And you can see how here, see, I have this line of stitches. So when you're picking up, when it's sitting like this and you start to pick up your stitches, you make sure that you pick your gap. Let's say if I would have picked a gap in middle of this stitch to pick my stitches, I would always pick in the middle of each stitch. I wouldn't go there and pick one and then back, and you have to pick your line and follow the line. Every time you will venture out of line, it will start to look very messy. But if you follow the line, if you pull it out, you can see how here it looks very, very neat. And it's same on another side. And even though it looks different because there is a different type of stitch I was picking, can you see all the stitches are picked in the same gap? If I would have picked the next gap to pick the stitches, like here, again, I would follow it through from the start to the end. And this little white bit showing there is just the first stitch, which is at the moment, because I changed the color for the heel, that's where it's at the moment pulling out. When I finished, I will pull the yarn in. You see there's somewhere there's ends, which I just need to pull in somewhere there. And now the gusset, when you start to go back on a round, so in this part, on one side you knit together, on the other side slip, slip, knit, is just to create, and this one is one of those things which sometimes people religiously follow the pattern. But on these situations, I don't even sometimes, and that's possibly my problem with explanation, that I look visually and I think like, can you see you can just about see, there is the stitch, which I would like to create like a straight line. So when I knit, I just look and I judge what I need to do. Do I need slip, slip, knit, or knit two together to create that kind of nice line? And whatever way you do, if you repeat your action in the same place, it will look, it will create a uniformity. And to be honest, if you will ask me, oh, which side did you slip, slip, knit, and which one you did knit two together, I nearly need to think. And to be honest, when I'm knitting, I will tell you what I'm doing. But other than that, I can't. I think a lot of times people are afraid of making visual decisions. It's same like following here, following the lines. When you divide your stitches in three, oh, do I need to knit this stitch or slip? Have a look. Whatever comes, that's what you need to do. All right? So don't be afraid to make these small decisions, which kind of, and once you have made them and you kind of knit a couple rows and it works and it looks pretty, then you suddenly will gain a lot of confidence. At least I hope you will gain a lot of confidence that you can actually visually say, well, that's a knit stitch, that's a purl stitch, that's knit two together, that's slip, slip, knit. I always kind of look which stitch I would like. You see that side looks, can you see? Yeah, you can see that nicely. How that stitch is kind of going on the top of the other one, and it looks like this side is kind of slightly sloping over there. So that's all. Now I would need to continue knitting. I'm being back on 16 stitches, and now I on each needle, and I just need to carry on until my. The beauty is you can actually this sock you can try on, and I would say you need to knit if your feet are not extremely weird. No, no, I shouldn't be saying that. But if you have an average type of feet, you would knit the sock, I would say, roughly to the middle of your little toe. So, and then we will start a decrease. And the decrease for the toes I will show you tomorrow. I will not finish this sock. I will not knit like this much to fit my size. But I will show you the decrease on the other sock. So, and then we will see. So yeah, that's I hope, yeah, this sock, this one, I think this fits. We will do that kind of round toe. No stitching up, no nonsense. Fits all sizes, and I hope that this, no, oh dear, this one is nowhere near. This one is in the same stages. This one is nowhere near to the toes. So, well, we will see tomorrow. I will see how far I can go. Oh, another thing is, if you, and that was shown to me by old ladies in the craft marketing back home, if you want to know if the sock will fit the person, do you know what you need to do? You ask them to do a fist, and you put your sock around the fist, like that. And if the sock fits the fist, the sock should fit the person. It could be the old women's tales, but I think it kind of roughly works. Because if you do that, and then you put your sock around, that should fit. Just try it at home. Could be something new, something interesting. Anyway, I will stop prattling on because I need to go and bake a cake. Oops, that's went, yes, in the pile there. Yeah, tomorrow is Martin's birthday. And with all these things happening, normally I get him a nice, really nice ribeye steak for kind of birthday dinners. But as the times are, as I didn't buy my steak in February, as I can't hide anything in a freezer because he is in charge of the freezer, and there you can see my problem, because even if I hide the steaks under the bags of fresh raspberries frozen, which only I use for jelly making, you can guarantee that he will have a dig to, or will try to sort out this drawer like a day before his birthday, and then he will find steaks. So I try to buy them very kind of just a day or two before, so I can keep them, camouflage them in the fridge into some bowl or something which he might not find. So this year I couldn't get any because I walked into one supermarket a couple of days ago. What was it? Yesterday morning I walked in and they didn't have it. One of his presents we are not able to get, and I know he really wants it, which is a lemon tree. And he will have a note with a nice lemon tree on the front, which will say, I owe you. So desperate times, desperate measures. I have a little present for him, which he wanted because of the antiques. He wanted a little proper professional magnifier, the little pocket one, and I got him that. That's luckily that arrived on Tuesday, even though I ordered 2-3 weeks ago from one of my professional, trade suppliers. So which is good. So that one I have. Other than that, because he can't have steaks, I promised him to bake a cake. And I can bake a good fruit cake. I can do fruit cake, Christmas cake, but sponges is not my forte. You have kind of, you have a chance. He stands a chance. So eggs been warming now in the sunshine, and I hope the butter is not melted. But yeah, so I need to go and bake that cake. So we will see. I will let you know tomorrow if my sponge was this thick or that thick. So we will see. I'm not very good at it, and I know there's hundreds of recipes, and I do try all the time. I do this, you know, everything exactly the same, but I just don't have this kind of knack just to throw it all in, just do this, put in oven, and it happens. With sponges and meat, 50-50 chance. Anyway, I will see you all soon and take care. Enjoy your evening, and I will see you tomorrow for the finishing of the socks. See how far I got on them, and yeah, so keep knitting.